To interact with some selective guests of Jaipur. Ek Mulakat provides us the rare opportunity to gain an insight into the creative and passionate minds of those who are harbingers of change in their respective fields. To deliver the welcome note, I would now like to invite Mr. Shekhar Sawant, GM of ITC Rajputana.
Thank you, Akriti. Good evening, everyone. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all our friends and well-wishers gathered here this evening for yet another edition of Ek Mulakat, which is an initiative of the Burakowsk Foundation to promote cultural activities in our country. It is also my privilege this evening to welcome the very versatile and accomplished Ambassador of Poland to India, His Excellency Mr. Adam Burakowski. May I request a hand? India's relations with Poland have grown stronger over the past years, and in fact, they go back quite a long way. And one good example is the fact that there is a university in Krakow. I'll try to pronounce it. It's called the Jagiellonian University, and has been teaching Sanskrit, Hindi, and Indian cultural subjects since 1894. His Excellency himself is a graduate of the Maharaja Jam Sahib Digvijay Singh Ji High School in Warsaw. Some of us might be aware that the Maharaja Jam Sahib had provided sanctuary to displaced Polish nationals during World War II. Your Excellency, I understand that you are a historian and a political scientist. Yeah, okay, I think we are okay. Your Excellency, I understand that you are a historian and a political scientist. And you've been involved in journalism, and you've also had opportunity to witness firsthand events between India and Europe and vice versa. Well, my own introduction to your country began in the early 1980s, when I first read in the pages of the Time magazine about a feisty trade union leader called Lech Walesa in the port city of Gdansk, okay, heading what was then known as a Solidarnosc, a solidarity union. Yes. Yeah. I mean, standing up for what in those impossible times were dock workers' rights, of all things. Yes. Yeah. The other important historical figure was someone that I studied in school in history, and this was King John Sobieski III. Right? And he himself was quite a contributor to modern Europe as we know it today. So Poland did, after all, contribute a lot to the culture of modern Europe as we know it in today's times. ITC Hotels has always embraced the values and importance of art and culture, and we do this through our Welcome Art and Welcome Theatre initiatives, which provide artists, playwrights, and actors a platform to showcase their talents before a wider community. And finally, I would like to conclude and express my gratitude again to the members of the Burakowsk Foundation for providing a wonderful platform which leads to such better understanding of cross-country cultures. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Sawant. We are indeed honored to have with us today Mr. Adam Burakowski. Mr. Burakowski, vitame a Jaipur. In conversation with Mr. Burakowski today, we have Dr. Mini Nanda, who has taught English for 3 decades in the Department of English, University of Rajasthan, Jaipur. In the course of her career, she was the head and member, University Senate, and has supervised many scholars at both MPhil and doctoral levels in diverse areas of English literature. Her pursuit of women's writings had made her initiate various academic activities as the director, Center for Women's Studies. Her academic writings span cultural studies, film studies, women's writings, Indian, South Asian, Canadian, Caribbean, and Latin American literatures. We really look forward to the enriching conversation. Before we begin, may I request you all to please switch off or put your phones on silent mode. Over to you, Dr. Nanda.
Namaskar and welcome to this session. Welcome Ambassador Adam Burakowski. इस एक मुलाकात में आपका हार्दिक स्वागत है.
मेरी तरफ से बहुत धन्यवाद. Thank you very much.
India for you, I believe, is much more than a diplomatic mission. You are drawn to Hindi literature and Hindi language. So please tell us what drew you to Hindi language in the first place.
First of all, I would like to thank you all for coming, and thank you the organizers, the Burakowski Foundation and the Mulakat team, and also ITC Rajputana Hotel. And I can tell you that
for literature and Hindi
yes,
language.
yes. My story with India began in 1997. I was 20 years old, and I first came to India as a tourist. I visited Jaipur as well at that time. This city is exceptional, absolutely. सारी दुनिया से एक सबसे खूबसूरत शहर और हिंदी साहित्य के लिए भी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है ये शहर.
Because you've mentioned Nirmal Verma ji, Raat Ka Reporter, and on the other hand, there is this fascination for crime fiction, Surendra Mohan.
Yes.
So he was here a couple of, some years back in this very venue. Surendra Mohan Pathak was here.
I would love to meet him.
Yes.
Someday. So I came as a tourist in 1997. It was a time when Poland and also India was going through a very turbulent economic transformation. I was very young at that time, and it was a very important experience that shaped my life for next decades. And then I started learning Hindi and reading about India, researching India, listening to music and watching films and reading books. And then I began my academic career. And India has always been one of my topics of the academic career. Not the only one, because the second one is Central Eastern Europe, which is my home place.
So also when you talk about Hindi literature, we can move to Urdu literature also. Manto, 100 years after his birth, is still remembered as one of the most powerful voices in Urdu literature and language for his sensitive portrayal of the marginalized and the nuanced study of the complexity of human nature, and his stories on partition. And you have translated Manto into the Polish language. Tell us about this translation of Manto. Did you do it from the original Urdu, or was it from English?
It was from original Urdu version.
That's fantastic.
But it has not been published yet. So
No, there's always scope for publication.
Yes, this is one of the projects that I'm keeping for the rest of my life. This is to publish a collection of Manto short stories in Polish language.
That's very interesting, because Manto also began his literary career as a translator. Manto translated English, Russian, and French stories. So, and when you talk about translation, and it is a work in progress, so that is how a writer, we feel, is reincarnated in another culture and language. So thank you for this abiding interest in Manto.
I can tell you that like half a year ago, I saw this film, Manto. The very, very, very good film. Really, not only because of the character, but also of how the film is made. It's really a masterpiece, I think, of cinematography. This film. I can tell you that I translated.
How many stories?
Yeah.
How many stories have you
I don't
translated?
count them, but one of my favorite is Kali Shelvar. Kali Shelvar. Kali Shelvar. This is one of my favorite Manto stories, and also Volarki. Volarki. I think this is my favorite.
All right. And of course, the iconic Toba Tek Singh.
Actually, this one I don't like.
Okay, that's so honest. So you, Ambassador Burakowski, are a political scientist and a historian with a specialization, as you just said, on India. One of the specialization is on India. And you've written a book on Indian history, commencing from the first War of Independence in 1857, which comes up to the present. Would you like to tell us about the genesis of this book?
This is the outcome of my research for several years of research. What facilitates the research, especially the elder history, like this colonialism, is that many sources are published on the internet that were very hard to access before the internet. So I wrote this book with one of my friends, Dr. Krzysztof Iwanek, who is one of the best specialists on India in Poland. And we tried to show not only the general history of India, but also the more regional aspects of it. So this is from the Great Uprising, or the First War of Independence, till 2013. Why was that? Because we published this in 2013, so...
Has to stop at some
yes,
point.
so it was before the current Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji came to power.
So now, the ties between our two countries, India and Poland, was strengthened further in 1942, when Maharaja Digvijay Singh Ji of Navanagar, Gujarat, established a camp for refugee Polish children fleeing the Holocaust. And this was a time when India was fighting its own battle, a non-violent battle for self-determination and independence. And there was severe drought and famine in the land. And Jam Sahib, as he was fondly called, Jam Sahib's endeavors and gesture rose as a testimony of what Altaf Ali's couplet says, Yahi hai ibadat, yahi deen o iman, ki kaam aaye duniya mein insan ke insan. So that gesture, please share with us the Polish Parliament's resolution of 2016 and the details of the school.
So the story about Polish refugees and Maharaja Jam Sahib Digvijay Singh Ji, and also the Maharaja of Kolhapur, because there were two. Yes, is maybe I explained from the very beginning. So on the 1st of September 1939, Nazi Germany invaded Poland, and on 17th September same year, Soviet Union also invaded Poland. So we were invaded both by Germany and the Soviet Union, and both states were totalitarian at that time. And both states wanted to eradicate Polish nation from the earth. So Stalin and his communists, they were forcibly moving Polish people from eastern Poland to Siberia, and putting them in Gulag concentration camps and forced labor camps. Many of them died, and also many of them left, when they died, they left orphan children. In 1941, Nazi Germany attacked Soviet Union, and then Stalin realized that the alliances should change, and he let these people go out of Soviet Union. So, Polish government in exile organized a big escape from Soviet Union, mainly to Iran, and from Iran they created also the Polish armed forces, and for people who were not able to carry weapons, there should be some, the Polish government in the exile tried to find some shelter. And they found the shelters in many places, including Mexico or New Zealand. But the closest to Iran was India. And these people went through Quetta, Karachi, and then to Bombay. And the Polish consulate in Bombay was the consul Eugeniusz Banasiński and his wife Kira Banasińska. They were very active in finding some place for the refuge. So they spoke with Maharaja of Navanagar, because there was the name of Jamnagar at that time, and of Kolhapur. And in Balachari, near today's Jamnagar, the Maharaja created a refugee camp for Polish children. And around 1,000 Polish children found the place. In Kolhapur, the camp was bigger, but it was mainly for adult people. It was for 5,000. In common memory of Poles, both Maharajas are well known, but the Jamnagar Maharaja is more commemorated, maybe because it was about children, orphan children, and also these people who were in that camps, they cultivated these memories even during the communist times. Last year we, maybe just going back, the Maharaja Jamsaheb Digvijay Singh Ji said that he demands nothing for his deeds. He just wanted that one street in Warsaw should be named after him. It was his wish, and during communist times it was impossible. But then one square in Warsaw was named after, yes, this is called Good Maharaja Square, because this very long name, Jamsaheb Digvijay Singh Ji, is very hard to pronounce in Polish language.
He was the Good Samaritan, and
Yes.
he told the children that I am your father. You are not orphans here.
Yeah.
They called him Bapu.
Yes, and also a school that I graduated was named after him. Yes, and I'm very proud that I'm a graduate of the Maharaja school. And in last decades, these people who were in that camps, they keep coming both to Jamnagar and Kolhapur and making some functions, some ceremonies to commemorate all these deeds. There is a cemetery in Kolhapur for Polish people who died there, and also in Jamnagar there are two graves of Polish children. One of them died because of some disease that he had carried from Soviet Union, and second one from some accident. And last year we made a function in Jamnagar. We brought these children of Maharaja to Jamnagar, to Balachari, and to commemorate all these things.
Thank you for this detailed history.
I can tell you also
Yeah.
one story from last year, that one of these people, these people are like around 90. She came to our function because her daughter read in Times of India that we are preparing some ceremony. Yes, commemoration. And she asked if she could also participate. She lived in United States. And we, of course, agreed. She came. And she was very moved by this whole ceremony. She returned back to the United States, and just a week after she passed away.
Oh my.
Yes, and just the day before she passed away, she was singing the song about Jai Jai Maharaja.
So this is the kind of emotional connect, and the connection of homes continues. You reside in the house where once Baba Sahib Ji lived. B.R. Ambedkar, as the first law minister of independent India, lived in the house where you reside. And we believe you savor Indian cuisine. And you're also very magnanimous about our weather. You say you like it. Your comments?
तो हमारे घर हमारे रेजिडेंस के बारे में सबसे पहले the residence of the ambassador of Poland was built in 1920s by Maharaja of Kanika, a small state in nowadays Orissa. Then in 1947 it was nationalized and was given to Dr. Ambedkar because he was a member of the government. So he wrote the constitution in our residence. We are very proud. We are proud and honored that this happened there, because also there is another connection. Poland is the first European country to adopt a constitution. In 1791, 3rd of May, we adopted the first constitution in Europe and second in the world after the United States.
Good to know.
So, and the Constitution of India was written in our residence. In 1951, Dr. Ambedkar, Baba Sahib, he left the government, and then in 1954, India established diplomatic relations with Poland. Yes, and they gave this residence to Poland in exchange of also very, very nice residence, which is called India House in Poland, in Warsaw, in central Warsaw. The India House is next to British embassy in Warsaw.
So as I said, the connection with homes continues.
Yes.
And we also know that you're extremely fond of Hindi films and music.
Yes.
So which films? And which films do you like to watch?
I like to watch all the films from India.
Hindi
also,
film buff, totally.
Yes.
It's a film a day, I believe. One film a day you watch, Hindi film. You used to watch.
I used to watch. Yeah, now I don't have too much time. Especially I like the decade of 1970s, when we observed the rise of the biggest star, Amitabh Bachchan. And his best film, I think, films were
70s.
Yes, in the 70s. So I especially like that decade. And from all Bachchan films, I like most Amar Akbar Anthony.
Let me add here that his son is called Anthony, but
Yes.
that has nothing to do with the film.
No,
So
that,
maybe.
no, that
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the film.
So there is also this love for Lata Mangeshkar songs.
Yeah, but maybe let me return to this film issue. So I watched around 400 Indian movies.
That is the record.
So, but especially from 1970s, but not only, and also many new films. I can tell you that some of productions have some connections to Poland.
Yes,
Yes,
there is
it's-
this Yash Chopra production, which we usually associate with Switzerland. But there is one film that was filmed in Poland.
Fana. Yes.
So Fana was shot in the south of Poland.
Yes, in the mountains.
And another connection?
Yes. So in last week there was a launching of a new Salman Khan film, Bharat. And in this film, Bharat, the director of photography is from Poland. His name is Marcin Łaskawiec, and one of the camera operators is also from Poland, Karol Stadnik.
So Bharat and Poland connect
Yes, yes.
at all levels.
Yeah, and this is because of the great management work done by my compatriot and very good friend Julia Piekiełko, who lives in Mumbai. She managed, connect all of this.
Yes, so I was also asking you, if films are there, then the songs are also there. And you're very fond of Lata Mangeshkar's voice and her songs. Do you listen to them? What else do you listen to?
I don't want to advertise any specific company, but one of the companies in India produced a very nice device to listen to old Hindi songs. Yes, yes, I bought it, and me and my children, we are listening to this every day.
So this company knows the company you're talking about. They are aware of it. It's no big secret. That's wonderful.
Yeah. And also, it provides various kinds of music. Lata Mangeshkar, but also some other like Qawwali, instrumental music. I like Lata, but 1 year ago I discovered also one very good singer from Karnataka, Dr. Rajkumar. He's really fantastic. He sings in Canada, which I don't understand. Yes, but
music translates.
yes, music is absolutely fantastic. If I can name my favorite songs, it could be the one from Muqaddar Ka Sikandar.
Which one?
Yes. Zindagi to बेवफा है एक दिन ठुकरा आएगी मौत में बुबा साथ ले जाएगी.
What a philosophy.
Or maybe some other Tere Ham Safar Git Hai Tere. Yeah, this is also very nice song. I like this, this decade of 1970s. From more,
The music and the films.
yes, from more modern music, I like the song from Om Shanti Om, the title song.
All right.
And I like this Tamil hit Kolaveri D. Yes. This is also
This is the fun song also.
Yes.
Not just the philosophy, but the dance movements. And
Yes.
So, Mr. Ambassador.
But I can tell you that we also have some connections, musical connections between Poland and India. Yes, and there is one Polish singer, Michał Rudaś, who last year he participated in talent contest in Star Plus TV in Mumbai, and yes, he sang a song with Asha Bhosle.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and he was here in India, I think last month or 2 months ago. So And there are some also musical projects between Poland and India. In my previous life as a director in Polish radio, I co-organized a concert of Zakir Hussain in Krakow in Poland.
Wonderful. So I would also like to share with the audience here that one could go and watch the documentary, A Little Poland in India, that talks about Jam Sahib's outreach to these.
I would strongly advise you to watch this movie, Little Poland in India, and also second film by the same person, Dzień Dobry India. This person is Anuradha, and also a very good friend of ours. And this film was recently put in Jallianwala Museum in Red Fort in Delhi. Yes, because they opened the Jallianwala commemorative memorial in Delhi.
So finally, Mr. Ambassador, with your love for Indian art, literature, cinema, and culture, what would you do to facilitate education and research between the two countries?
The number of Indian students in Poland is not growing, it is booming. When I started my story with India, there were a few Indian students. But now there are more than 4,000. That became possible because our universities opened the English language course, and the Indian students are coming to that course. Polish language is very nice, fantastic.
I believe it's one of the most difficult languages.
Yes, but it's one of the most difficult languages in the world. But I know many Indians who speak fluent Polish. I can name Kartikej Johri, who is honorary consul of India in Wrocław. He speaks very good Polish. Also, another gentleman, Sunila Hudzia from Gdańsk, he also speaks fluent Polish. JJ Singh from Warsaw as well.
All the students also who would be going there would pick the language.
Yes, and the students, some of the students already are making some careers. There is one student who graduated the Delhi University and now is in Lublin, and very, very active there. So this is one thing, the students exchange, and second is the academic exchange. In my previous career as an academician, I cooperated with Jawaharlal Nehru University in Delhi, and JNU actually cooperates very closely with the University of Warsaw, especially. Also, University of Kolkata is very active, and the University of Manipal. These three from Indian sides are the most active to cooperate with Poland, and from Poland is University of Warsaw and Jagiellonian University of Krakow, yes. But also some other universities also cooperate as well, and this is really something that is growing. I see that new projects, some common ideas, conferences, international cooperation. This is really something very positive, and helps us to understand each other better.
So I think now we can take a few questions from the audience. It's open to the house. Anyone would like to make an observation or a query?
I have no idea if you do know that the two grandchildren of Jam Sahib live in Jaipur. They are good friends of mine. It's very uncanny that for last couple of days I've been discussing this story of Bapu and the story of the orphans being rescued and given refuge. Then one of them told me, this is the story, if you know or I do not know, but he told me that there was one lady who, his mother made, this chap's mother made chiffon sari to be embroidered for the Maharani, for the queen here, Maharani Gayatri Devi, and he wrote back this message to me, and he told me that my mother used to get these saris for Rajmata Sahib. So this is one thing, if you didn't know, for all your royal stories, this would add to this. This is another connection from Polish embroideries coming to the royalty here. And second thing that I want to add, I have not been to Poland, but my first encounter with Polish people was on a train from Austria to Germany, East Germany crossing, and it was a very cold night. And I slept, but I was freezing in that bogie, and suddenly I felt there was a warm thing put on me. I opened my eyes, and there was this Polish lady. We did not know any language. She put the blanket on me, and that's Poland that I remember. I wanted to share that with you.
बहुत खूबसूरत, बहुत सुंदर. Okay.
Good evening. It's just an anecdote that I wanted to share since we're talking about Poland. I think it's very important to also remember Madame Curie. She was from Poland, and as you mentioned, she fought very difficult circumstances. And she grew up when Poland was occupied. And her life and her contribution has been an inspiration to people the world over. And also in much recent politics, many people don't know, Poland is in fact the only country where twin brothers were heads of state, the Kaczynski brothers. One was the prime minister, the other was the president. And then one of them tragically passed away in an air crash, I believe, with other people. So Poland's been at the center of world history for the longest time, and we're glad you're here in our city to share your, let's say, to share your work with us. Thank you.
So, one comment about Maria Skłodowska-Curie. This is her name is Skłodowska, and Curie was a name of yes, of a husband. But maybe because of this surname Skłodowska is rather hard to pronounce in other languages. Yes, difficult to pronounce. But she always was very proud of being Polish, and really she could be a role model for women that want to make an academic career. Really, I'm very proud that I'm the compatriot of Maria Curie Skłodowska.
And the only lady to win the Nobel Prize twice,
Yes.
in just a gap of 7 years. And also because of her magnanimous husband also. He refused to take the award if she were not awarded. So that is also very important. Yes.
And speaking about the Smolensk tragedy, I remember that the all nation of Poland really lived it these days. It was a very moving experience for the whole nation.
So you see, at many levels, including films and literature, Manto particularly, it resonates with the political history that you have seen and you have experienced.
Yes, we cannot escape from history, from politics. I mean, from current politics, to some extent we can, but from yeah, but from history, we cannot escape. I think.
One thing I would like to highlight is about the painter.
Yes.
Many of them must have seen, and this is
Stefan Norblin, yes. He was also a refugee, war refugee. And he painted the palace of Maharaja of Jaipur. Yes, and this is a unique artistic form which mix the Art Deco style with Indian culture, mythology, and history. This is something that everyone should see, at least on internet, which is very hard, will be very easy to find. Yes, but yes.
But that's a good tip, yes, technology helps.
Yes.
Your Excellency, the fact that you are into translations, and that also Urdu, which is certainly not your first language or even your second. How difficult was it to retain the emotions which are generally lost in translations? The story remains, the character remains, the setting remains, but somewhere the emotions, they get lost, like having a perfume bottle opened and it vanishes. Do you think you were able to retain those emotions, and how did you work towards achieving that?
Every translation is interpretation.
Yes.
And every translator has problems with, how to put something in the other language. The most difficult to translate is poetry, Shairi. No, Manto was very hard to translate, but the poetry I didn't even try. And I don't want to try any translation of poetry. I translated also from other languages, but it was never my primary job. So I translated some scientific articles or fragments of books as well.
But we look forward to the publication of the Manto.
I'm also looking forward.
Yes,
I would
in
like to read
language.
it as well. And I also was thinking about translating Nirmal Verma. He's also very good author. Very good.
But there's this European sensibility also in him
Yes.
that would resonate with a lot of issues with you.
Yes, definitely.
We really enjoyed your talk a lot. And the way you've identified Poland with India, culturally, and your passion for literature, for films and music. What about Indian cuisine? How much do you enjoy that? And what are the things that you enjoy?
I had Rajasthani thali today.
Wow!
And I love Indian cuisine. Yes, biryani is one of my favorite. But these months I'm exploring thalis from all around India. Because in Delhi you can easily find restaurants from different places. Yes, and Rajasthani thali is one of the best thalis.
So there it is. We come back to Rajasthan and its cuisine and its color. So thank you so much. It's been a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
And
If I can add something, is that Poland is very open country, really, and also is economically growing. Very interesting place to visit, especially that this September we opened direct flight from Delhi to Warsaw.
It's on
Yes,
my
so-
bucket list. Wonderful. That's very good.
Yeah. And as I visited different parts of Rajasthan, I've been to this region where Marwari community is coming from. Shikhavati, yes. Also, I've been to Bikaner, to Udaipur, Jaipur. I would really would like to convince you to visit Poland when this direct flight. Yes, there's many touristic possibilities. Like I can name Wieliczka. This is the biggest salt mine in Europe, and there's you can even have a shadi wedding down there. So just imagine all your
The
family coming
destination
for
wedding
wedding.
too, and the direct flights are waiting.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I think we would all agree that that was truly an enriching session, a beautiful journey into Polish culture, history, and literature. Thank you so much, Mr. Burakowski, for sharing your insights with us and joining us. To say that we are fortunate and grateful to have you here in Jaipur with us is an understatement to the hilt. Thank you, Dr. Nanda, for the invigorating conversation.
Thank you. There's one thing that really unites Polish people and Indian people. This is deal.
Yes. I would now like to call upon Mr. Sudhir Kasliwal to present Mr. Adam Burakowski and Dr. Nanda with a token of our appreciation.
I can tell you that I was here in Jaipur with my family, also for Hathi.
Oh. Thank you so much. We would like to thank ITC Rajputana for housing these beautiful evenings and Shree Cement, the presenters of Ek Mulakat. On behalf of Jayshree Periwal Foundation, I extend my gratitude to Prabha Khaitan Foundation and Mr. Sandeep Bhutoria for always promoting art culture in our pink city of Jaipur. Thank you all so much for being a wonderful audience. Until our next Mulakat, I usually say Alvida, but today I think it's more apt to try and say Do Vidzenia. Thank you all. फिर मिलेंगे।